Yes, I totally remembered that. My memory is so very good, so good.
Just
Okay.
started.
Yeah, no, I know. I totally forgot. All righty. Um, cool. So, yeah, the number one thing that I want to talk about today, like I said, is the 070 release. So, for those who weren't here last time, basically, we talked about the we talked about we talked about KMCP, specifically about bringing KMCP into or out of basically out of Kagent and separating the two, and using Brian Fox or One Match Fox or Brian's PR as a mechanism to do that. So that's what we ended up doing. So now, and Art, who's in this call as well, is writing the docs for this upgrade. But basically, the main difference now is that KMCP will be enabled by default, same as before, but it will be a separate controller. So it will just bring in the KMCP controller. So if you start with KMCP, you can just disable it in the Kagent Helm chart, and you'll be totally fine. So with that in mind, I just wanted to, basically say like that that we really want to get the 070 release because that change actually was merged into main. And so because it was merged into main, I would like to basically be able to continue merging and releasing, and I'll take responsibility for merging that into main. That's my fault. But I think we're pretty much ready. That's really the only, it's not even really breaking, it's kind of pseudo breaking, but I think it's important to demarcate that. So does anyone else have any questions, comments, concerns about that release? I know, Dimitro, we were talking last week about it, so I just wanted to chat before we pulled the trigger there.
Yeah, my only concern was the stability before the KubeCon and all the demos that, no one will be affected. That's the only concern I have so far.
Yep. So I think we're good. Yeah, on my side, I think we're good. But I know, I guess Sarah maybe. So but I think most people are probably using, like, this shouldn't make too always have you can always use a previously released version, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm not too worried about that. And obviously we'll, if anything goes wrong with this release, we'll do quick follows and everything. But yeah, so. All right. Well, then expect that either today or tomorrow. Obviously, would love other people's feedback. I think one of the biggest additions in this release is going to be Peter's run live, run local changes. And so there will be a doc going up for that as well as soon as this release goes out. So really excited to get people's feedback. We just keep seeing really great feedback on that on our side when we show it around and demo it. So really, really excited for that to get more attention. Yeah. Trying to think if there's anything else. Anyone? Yeah, so that's it on the release. Anyone else have any questions, comments, concerns about that? No.
I have a question on the future. Sorry, I was traveling last week. I missed last week's meeting on the future of KMCP. Do we have a rough timeline on that?
On which piece?
The future of KMCP. I saw it on the agenda for last week.
Oh, it's done. We just need to release.
Oh, okay. So basically, the KMCP right now in Kagent repo, separate from Kagent, has the equivalent function as the KMCP as part of Kagent, but we're just lacking a release.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, no, KMCP is released, and wait, which functionality are you talking? Which maybe?
Well, the function I'm looking for is it has the latest version of Agent Gateway, and I know because last time I checked, I think KMCP was 3 weeks old, and it doesn't have some of the function like integration with K-Gateway. It needs to have like the proper label on the MCP deployment. So There may be something else. I have to double check, but I know the KMCP in Kagent was slightly ahead of KMCP by itself.
Yeah, so we brought a bunch of those changes in. I can't say 100% that all of them are in, but JM actually did that initial PR into KMCP first. So KMCP should be fine, but I can't say 100%. But it should have all those. From what I know, it should have all those changes as far as I know, but I can't promise 100%.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I saw there's a release last week too.
Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. But yeah, we can talk offline about specific changes. All righty. That out of the way. Omar, what's going on?
Hey, got a question in regards, and please, sorry if it's already documented or discussed, but I couldn't find an example of our reference. So got a use case where we want to run something on an agent that has more like a sequential ADK workflow in there. And it seems that at least the example that I was looking on the website, it doesn't specify a way to give access to the tools. Like when we do the traditional agents, like we specify an MCP and a set of tools, right? But when it's bring your own, it seems that, okay, your Docker image, you specify that one, and you're probably a set of keys. But that's it. We don't chain the tools and the MCPs. Does that mean that it has to be done via your code? In like your code, you will have to specify the MCP URL and the tools that you want to do is not on the template itself. Is my assumption correct?
So yeah, it's in code right now, but that's such a good question because we've been speaking generally about how to make that better and easier, but we haven't come up with any too many concrete ideas yet. So that's something we'd actually love more design help with, things like that. Like we've definitely gotten, I think, for example, right? Like like you said, how would a user use an MCP tool like a MCP server resource defined in KMCP? How would a user use that from a BYO agent, right? There's no easy way to say, hey, I want to use this tool. And something that Dimitro has chatted, or even a model config, right? How do I use a model config? So something that Dimitro has talked about is basically like an XDS server type of thing where you plug in, you say, I want to use the model config blank, right? And it will go get it from here. So we don't have a ton of, we don't have a super specific idea there, but it is something we're very interested in, but we don't, Does that answer your question?
So basically for that particular case, as soon as you are able to parse it in your code, you can get this information from the, just currently it's not like that, but if you look on how the declarative agent is implemented, right? It gets this information translated from the controller, and controller is pushing it to the specific agent pod, right? So So currently we have like two versions. One is declarative, when everything is translated and going through that translation layer. Second one is bring your own, which is completely, self-implemented in the code, right? It feels like you want something in between, right? You want to actually, okay, I will write my code, but I want certain information which will come from maybe from the controller, like via some protocols. So I don't think technically there is a limitation. So if as soon as you implement it the right way, and as soon as you would be like listening for that API call and push from the controller, you can get this information, get that model and other stuff. The problem is that right now it's not done, so you can try maybe with your example and do it this way. And also in the long term, if you look on specifically on the workflow and on ADK, for example, whenever you implement ADK with Python, it doesn't require too much code, and most of the things could be achieved with declarative config, right? The gap is we are not supporting yet the sequential workflow, parallel workflow. We have a PR with some implementation, which was just an experiment, but it will be replaced in near future in favor of some more robust with maybe with temporal and other stuff. But we are working in that direction as well. So my personal view is that in future, we should reduce amount of code that you need to write and focus more on the composition, on the low code, no code, agent builders.
Good. Just to summarize and make sure I'm understanding. So right now, there is no easy way, or is not implemented when we do bring your own, to define the tools in there, right?
Yep.
That being said, nothing has stopped me from, in my Python code, to put that definition in declarative way, like use this MCP, this is the URL, probably the local DNS for Kubernetes to access that one, and use this tool, right? So I'm being very specific, but from my Python code.
Right, correct.
Right, and there I would be able to use something probably sequential or those different workflows in structure, because the declarative way so far doesn't support it, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And I was trying to do it via prompt, modifying my prompt and saying, hey, after you do this, do that, and just it's like I was throwing a coin at the air. Like sometimes it will do it, and sometimes it wouldn't do it. So I was thinking there must be a better way. So I wanted to bring this question. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, we talked about this quite a bit last week as well.
Question: which model you are using when you are testing?
Gemini's.
Gemini. Okay.
Yeah, and it's something where I wanted to, for example, first do like if I give a name of a deployment with a namespace, I wanted the agent first to check the Argo CD state of that application, and then check Kubernetes pods, like on the cluster. It was just something basic, but just check Argo and then check the cluster, instead of just choosing one tool and just giving me an output. So I wanted something like that with the MCP from Argo CD and the MCP, well, the Kagent tools that have come out of the box.
I think it's important to find the right separation of responsibilities, and you could try to have, for example, two different sub-agents which will focus on Argo and pods, and then one general like coordinator. Maybe in this way it will be more predictable. I would suggest not to mix everything on the top level, because the top level will be like polluted with multiple responses, and it may get confused by what to do, So you can try also like to have one agent which will be like responsible just to coordinate the flow, the top level, and then multiple sub agents which will be doing this specific check on Argo, check on the other things.
Perfect. We'll give it a try. Thanks, Dimitri.
Yeah, we can connect maybe offline if you doing this. We can just connect maybe after in Discord and check together.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, very, very cool. Another update I wanted to give actually is someone in the community added support for human in the loop with LangGraph, which is super cool. But they didn't add it to the UI yet. So I'm in talks with them. I don't know if they're in here. Apex LNC or something. I don't know exactly. But so that also may be coming soon as well, which was kind of a nice surprise. They did it as part of A2A, and so we should just be able to add it once we have it in the UI. We should just be able to add it to any framework that we have. So that's pretty cool. That could be for tool calls or agent calls. So I just wanted to call that out. Trying to think if I have anything else specific to this. Are there, I'm also wondering something that's probably upcoming that I wanted to point people's attention to. I will get the details. Give me 1 second. So Anthropic and via Claude has been coming up with this idea of something called skills.
Skills. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and I'll post the link in the chat for the meeting here. And we can talk about them briefly. But essentially, what skills are is they're kind of they're another way to think about context management and tools. And so I'll post it here as well. So yeah, they're another way to think about context management and tools. But I'll post them here as well. I'll post them in the doc, I mean. Oops, no, not that button. And so they're another way to think about context and tools. And the reason I'm bringing it up is just that they were thinking about adding them to Kagent as well in the lead up to KubeCon because they seem to be getting a lot of attention. They're pretty cool. I've been playing with them in Claude, so we're debating. We're throwing around the idea of adding those as an additional way of context management. So I just wanted to flag that there's this like other mechanism going on that's potentially pretty cool and shareable. So, Dimitro.
Yeah, speaking about Anthropic, I've noticed that our Anthropic is relying on the default ADK implementation, which is going through the Google Cloud. So basically, we say Anthropic, but in reality, it's going to kind of Vertex AI Anthropic, right?
Oh, do we not support the standard? Oh, I remember this. Oh, yeah, I think you're right.
I mean, is this working together like in this combination, or we need something more? I think they said that the agent would understand skills no matter what. If you have like access to agent, you can kind of call these additional APIs. But I think the way we connect it in Kagent is going via Google only.
Yeah. So the way that I think there's two things to keep in mind there. So again, I mean, I feel like I should just give you know what, let me share the particular link that I sent.
My use case was just to go to the Bedrock, and it was not possible. And I guess oh,
I can't present still because I'd have to quit out of Chrome. So Tom, can you bring up the link, the first one that I sent, the blog? Thank you. So scroll down a bit. Oh, keep going. There should be kind of a bit about, no, keep going. There's the anatomy it'll explain. So there, keep going. This next picture here. So basically what a skill is it's a file and then a bunch of associated files. So the skill.md is essentially front matter, which is like a generic description of a skill. And then there's the markdown beneath it, which explains how to use the skill. And then, which is like a deeper explanation. And then there's potentially coupled files. So the skill itself is just like a folder, right, with some metadata. And so Anthropic allows you, specifically Anthropic, right, not Claude, allows you to upload skills, which can then be added which can then be used in your request to Claude, right, to Anthropic's Claude. Or you can have them locally. right? So Demetra, to answer your question, I think, given how we've done most things in Kagent, I think actually it would be more of the local implementation where we would bring skills as a concept to Kagent, not skills to the API. Separately, I agree with you that we do need to support we do need better support for the Anthropic. I'm trying
model
to find,
providers.
yeah, I'm trying to find that code now. Let me is in here, source Kagent, types.py. Yeah, if I remember correctly, if the model is Anthropic, we use Light LLM still. So it should work. We use Light LLM still. The problem is that the Google's upstream implementation won't let you go. They specifically error out if you try and go to upstream Claude. They're very rude about it. They specifically make you go to their cloud. So we need to
we need to wrap it with another, like a native model provider, which
should be pretty easy actually. I think we can just wrap it. We could probably
I did the same for Olama once. Just tried it, and I think we can do it for Anthropic as well.
Yeah.
A question about skills. In addition to Markdown, they actually talking about like I don't know, templates of documents. Like here, they have some PDF. They can have some other files. So do you think we can model it as a regular Kubernetes volume with, I don't know, config maps, or it should be something bigger?
I think we can have multiple. I mean, you're right. At the end of the day, it just needs to be available, right? It just needs to be available.
Should it be something like a OCI container, or should it be like,
That's a good question. I think, at the end of the day, I think where we start and where we end are two different things, right? Like, maybe these are shareable. Maybe there's like some, public way to pull down skills, or your organization has a bunch of skills, right? Like maybe it's in a bucket. You know what I mean? I feel like the actual
that's what I mean. So eventually it might be.
Well, maybe let's take a step back. What would you like to see, right? I mean, what would be your ideal, right?
Like my understanding
were you interested? Oh, sorry, go.
Yeah, my understanding was, since the skills are kind of something which you need to upload, something you need to version, and so on, you would need to probably package it as a kind of OCI artifact test, and then then mount it, then use it.
That makes sense to me.
Later on.
Cool.
So.
Here, let me. Have you played around with skills at all on your own?
Not much. Just read the same thing and.
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, no, I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, I think we're definitely, we're just looking around at the community and seeing what people are doing and seeing how we can make Kagent better. Cool. All right. Well, that's all I've got for today. Some of you probably guessed I'm very busy with work leading up to KubeCon. So lots of stuff going on over here. Is there anything else anyone wants to talk about? Doesn't have to be, could be what you're working on, could be anything. This is the All Things AI community meeting. Doesn't have to be exactly perfect. Rudraksh, definitely go ahead. I know I'm gonna butcher your name, so.
Yeah, you're almost there. I'm
okay. Sorry about that.
I was gonna ask, like, is there going to be anything, demos or in KubeCon North America about Kagent? I'll be most likely there, so I just wanted to know anything that's going to happen that I should put on my checklist.
Yeah, at our booth, we will run labs. I think we paid for like 10 machines that people can come by to do the labs. And the labs are not going to be limited just to Kagent. So you'll see labs related to how do you deploy your MCP server in production? How do you add all auths to your MCP server? USC labs related to how Kagent and potentially work with the agent gateway. I think there's like 5 to 8 labs. I don't remember the exact number. So if you are interested in hands-on, definitely do check out our booth. We also give badges and t-shirts for people completing the lab. And since you're asking tomorrow, I believe at around the same time as now, Christian Poster and myself are actually doing a workshop live virtually MCP from zero to production. So if there's any interest, we can, I think we posted on LinkedIn. So if you have any interest, or just ping me, I'll send you the registration.
Sure, definitely. Thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing you there.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Ayush.
Yeah. So hello everyone. So some time back I have created one issue on the Kagent regarding the like onboarding Docker agent. So like Ethan, I guess you have already asked some kind of a prerequisite to tell some kind of task. So I'm just waiting for your reply. So if you like guys can take over like so that I can start.
Sorry. Hold on. Slower. Sorry, I can't really hear you. Can you either speak louder or a bit slower?
Okay, my bad. Some kind of issue from myself. So I just need to take your feedback on that feature request that I have created. I have shared a link on the chat that is basically onboarding a Docker agent.
Yes.
So if there's any kind of prerequisite or things or summaries I need to add so that I can take a look and then start working on this.
No, I think that's perfect. Yeah, I think that that agent should actually work perfectly with the work that Peter was doing to run locally, because a Docker agent is really mostly useful on a local machine. It's not as useful, I don't think, on a in Kubernetes, right? Because in Kubernetes you don't have direct access to Docker. So
yeah, okay, I will start working on this. And so we have another ideas, like we have like some kind of tools, Codeman as well, there OpenShift. So what's your thing? Can we onboard as well in the case?
what sort of tools?
Codeman and OpenShift.
Podman and OpenShift. So I think what are the OpenShift tools? That's what I'm asking.
So for the OpenShift regarding that, in the starting we can onboard the OpenShift as well. Like we have K8 in the Kagent. So can we onboard the OpenShift?
I think maybe let's take this off. I can't super understand you. Maybe let's take this to Discord. We can chat over text. But yeah, we're definitely open to tools generally. Dimitro is actually the maintainer on our tools code base. I don't know. What do you think, Dimitro?
I think the only kind of thing that I could think right now is difference between like OpenShift and Kubernetes, like vanilla Kubernetes. OpenShift has OC tool, which has a few more commands on top of regular kubectl. So we can basically try to add OC in the regular tools distribution, if that helps. But we need to be more specific, like what exactly you're missing there, or what do you mean on that onboarding process? What functionality you want to add, and so on.
Yeah, I agree, and I think in terms of right, I agree. It's a little bit. It's not super clear to me exactly what functionality needs to be added.
There is one use case in general, like it's not only related to OpenShift, but any other like a remote server use case. If you are not running in the same cluster, and if you want to use tools in kind of remote way, you may need to add a couple of things in the current tools image, which are not there. So, but I think remote is not currently something that we are doing in a community version, right? You have remote in the enterprise, but it's a different story.
Yeah, Ayush, let's catch up more offline to better understand exactly what tools. If you could maybe put them in, also like create an issue in Kagent/tools, because it sounds like a lot of the work here is actually tools, not agents, right? Because the agents will be very simple wrappers for these tools, right? So I definitely think
if something we can add to the Kagent tools as a default tool set, yes, please open issue there, and we can discuss in the Discord.
Sure.
Cool. Alrighty. Anyone else? Oh, Dimitro, were you wanting to merge your rewrite to the Anthropic SDK, or is that still in progress?
You mean the model context Go implementation?
Yes.
I'm still trying to review it myself because I was a few days away. I had also some conferences and things, so I'm now trying to review it with a fresh look and see what's still missing. I'll ping you offline for that.
Okay, that sounds good. All right. Anything else before we wrap up? Give you guys some time back. Cool. Well, we have one more of these before KubeCon. Wait, actually, hold on. Next week, I might have. I'll figure this out. There might be a webinar next week that I'll have to attend. If so, I would highly recommend. I'll look into this, but there's a webinar next week that me and some folks over at Perfect Scale are doing about Kagent. So I'd highly recommend everyone attend that. I will find the link to that and put it in the notes after this. I'll also post about it in the Discord if anyone else is interested. It should be really cool. It's going to be me, my coworker Michael Levin, who's got apparently quite a following on LinkedIn. I don't know. I don't have any social media, but word on the street is he makes some cool content. So looking forward to everyone being there, and looking forward to next week. So I will talk to y'all soon. Bye, y'all.
Yep. Thank you all. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.